And welcome back to section 5.1. I know this section is getting a little long, but there's a lot in here, and I want to make sure you understand how to do it. We're going to solve another system of 3 equations and 3 variables. Last time we kind of did substitution, which is always a tried and true method. But this time I notice it might be a little easier to use elimination. Because, remember, our goal is to eliminate one variable. And I notice that it might be pretty easy to eliminate the y's, because we have 5y and 5y and negative 1y right here. So this doesn't happen very often, but if I multiply the top equation by 5, I could add the top equation to this equation and add the top equation to the third equation, and we will have eliminated the y's and only have x and z. So that's maybe the hardest part, is knowing even where to start on these. So let's multiply the top equation by 5, and we'll get 10x minus 5y plus 15z equals, and then don't forget to multiply this number. A lot of people make that mistake, so make sure you don't make that mistake. We need to multiply the number on the end. So 26 times 5 is 130. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to line these up so that we can add them together. So let's take the second equation, which is 4x plus 5y minus z equals negative 4. So there's the second equation. And now let's add it to the top equation. Okay, just like that. And now let's take the third equation and let's add it to the top equation. So that's what we're doing. We're going to take the top equation and add it to the second equation and add it to the third equation. And when we do that, the y's cancel and we get 14x plus 14z equals 126 because it's 130 minus 4. And when we add these two equations together, the y's cancel and I get 15x plus 19z equals 167. Okay, so there we go. We have 2 equations and 2 variables. And so now we can either use elimination or substitution again to try to get x by itself or z by itself. So let's start with this equation. Let's see if 126 is divisible by 14. It is. Okay, so that's lucky. So let's go ahead and solve this equation for z. And let's actually solve it. It doesn't really matter. We can solve it for x or z. So I'm going to divide the entire equation by 14. And those cancel. So I get x plus z is equal to 9, because 126 divided by 14 is 9. And now we can solve it for x or z. So let's go ahead and solve it for z. So minus x. So I get z is equal to 9 minus x. Okay? If this wasn't divisible by 14, I would have tried to do this equation and see if this was divisible by 15 or 19. And then, unfortunately, if that didn't work, we're going to get an answer with fractions, and there's just no way around it, and that's kind of annoying. So z equals 9 minus x. This is equal to z, so let's plug it into z in this equation now. So we get 15x plus 19 times, instead of z, I'm going to write 9 minus x equals 167. So we got rid of z, and now we're only with an equation with x. And so we have one equation, one variable, so now we can solve it. 15x plus 19 times 9 is 171, minus 19x is equal to 167. Okay, combine like terms, we get negative 4x is plus 171 equals 167. Minus 171 minus 171. Negative 4x equals 167 minus 171 is negative 4. Divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. X equals 1. And once you have that, you are over the hill. And now it's just a matter of working backwards so that it's a matter of just working backwards to get the other two variables. So we have one variable, so let's use our other equation to find out what z is equal to. So x equals 1, so let's plug it into this equation where we actually solved for z. So z equals 9 minus 1, so z equals 8. There we go. And so again, you could have plugged it back into this equation even if you wanted to, the 14x plus 14z equals 126, but obviously this one's a lot easier. Now we've got z and x, so now I recommend going back to any of the starting equations to find y. So let's just use the top equation. Remember that was 2x minus y plus 3z equals 26. Another reason to use the top equation, one of the originals, is because you know that these are correct. And so if you have a value, you might as well plug it into something you know, and it reduces the chances of making a mistake. So 2 times 1, because x equals 1, minus y plus 3 times 8 equals 26. So simplifying, 2 minus y plus 24 equals 26. Combine like terms, 26 minus y equals 26. Minus 26 minus 26. That cancels. Negative y equals 0, because 26 minus 26. And so that means y is going to equal 0. So if you want to write this answer as a point, the point would be 108 is where those three planes are going to intersect each other. So it's a lot of work for one problem, but we're going to learn a better way of doing these fairly soon. So notice that I started with elimination, and then I used substitution, and so we used kind of both methods there. Let's go ahead and stop this video here, and we'll look at another example in part 6.